This is Heidi Caswell with WordPress 101 for Boomers, and others can use this too. It's not just for baby boomers. I wanted to give you here the reasons as to why I'm making these video tutorials and what it is that you can expect. Now, I am a baby boomer. That is the time. That's just my age, the group I grew up with. And when we were like back in high school, we did not have computers, we did not have laptops. We were learning how to type on typewriters, and we also were learning how to do things. This is what they called like a key punch machine here. And we actually learned how to do one of these. Computers were very big, they might fill up a room or so. I know my dad had gone back and decided to get a master's. He had retired from the Air Force and was going to work, and then he worked on second retirement. But he had a programming class that he was taking in a town that's like an hour from where we lived. And he would pay a lady to the programs. You can just type them in like we do on a laptop. You had to put on these things called key punch cards. And he didn't know how to do that. He'd hire someone to key punch these cards for him. Then he'd drive him the hour drive to college, punch him into the computer, feed it to him. Then it would spit out all the syntax errors. He'd have to get or any other problems in the programming, and then he'd have to go take it back and take the cards back to the lady. She'd have to retype and fix the cards. Then he'd have to drive back in, feed him to the computer again. Quite a process. I had come back from college and for a little bit, and he knew I knew how to key punch these cards, and he was very happy, and he just took me with him, and we were able to get his programs. But this is what we grew up with. We did not grow up with the iPhones and laptops and all these things and a lot of this technology stuff. You know, we didn't grow up with it. Now my kids have grown up with it, and they've know how to all use these things. And even like my 2-year-old granddaughter has no problem picking up her mom's cell phone and calling me or her dad or whoever she wants to call. I have a grandson, and he can run about any electronic device. But as baby boomers, we didn't grow up with those things. They were not a way of our life growing up. And so the technology is very cool, but a lot of things that a lot of people might take for granted and feel like we might already know, we might not know. We can learn. And this is not just for baby boomers, but this is just where I'm coming from on this. There's a lot of WordPress tutorials out there. I had several friends that have often said, oh, please make some tutorials, WordPress tutorials. We would love to have you make them up, maybe have a paid membership site, put these on there. And I would hesitate. I knew there was a lot of WordPress tutorials already out there, and I did not really want to. Why do something that's that's already being done? Why duplicate work that's already out there? And I didn't know that I really wanted to take the time to manage a membership site at the time. And they continue to say, well, we like the way you explain it. It makes it easy for us to understand. And so for that reason, I decided to go ahead and I put these tutorials together and in hopes that it will help others. I wanted a website that I could have, that I could put me on. I could put stuff that I'm doing there, something that was my own personal space on the internet. I could share information. I could actually put information that I wanted to remember so that I could go back and have. But I did not know how to make any websites. I didn't really want to take the time to learn how to do a website. And so I went and started looking into WordPress. And I went and bought me a hosting site, and I did automatic one-click install. And this was about 5 years ago with WordPress. And yet when I went in there, nothing seemed to work right. I'd read tutorials and things, and it just didn't seem to, I couldn't get it to do what it was supposed to do. It wasn't working right. So I gave up on WordPress for the time, and I talked to my son who programs, and he's a very good programmer. And I asked him for help. And he's very good and was very helpful. And he had me learn all kinds of things. He's like, well, here, you need to be able to make your own files. And I just thought at first he was going to make me a website up that I could just add my content and information to. And he ended up having me spend hours and hours learning how to do HTML and CSS, how to upload things to a website. Useful information, but it was hours and hours spent that was not doing what I wanted to do. What I really wanted to do was how to put my content online so I can use it and share with others. I didn't really care about whether I could make a website per se.